The ongoing war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran keeps escalating every day. And as of right now, we learned on Saturday that the supreme leader of Iran was killed in the attack. And we've also heard some news that some people that got together to elect the new supreme leader were also attacked. And it looks like there are multiple reports indicating that the son of the supreme leader, Muttaba Khamenei, has been selected as the next supreme leader by Iran's Assembly of Experts. And Iran is not taking a back seat. They've been conducting their own assault in the neighboring countries around them, hit multiple U.S. Bases in that region. And Iran has estimated about 555 to about 800 people killed. And there's some numbers that are suggesting this may be higher. And Israel is saying that at least 11 has been killed in their country since the start of the conflict. And at least 6 members of the United States military have been killed as well, and with additional casualties from drones and missile attacks on the U.S. facilities. And they're not willing to, let go. And it doesn't look like they're going to go back to the negotiation table at any point.
If I were in the position of Iran, I probably wouldn't go back to that negotiation table because this is the second time. The second time they are being attacked in the middle of negotiation. The first one happened. I think it was June last year. The 12 days of war. They were in the middle of negotiation, right in the middle of negotiation, and they were attacked. And this one too, they were in the middle of negotiation, according to Oman, a foreign minister. I think he's signaling that Iran almost agreed to every single thing they were demanding of them. And then for some reason, because Israel and America already have ulterior motive, they were going to attack them anyway. There was nothing that they would have done to avoid this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Y&E podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and engage with us in the comment section. So we're discussing the ongoing war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. And it looks like it keeps escalating every day. There are multiple reports indicating that the son of the supreme leader, Muttaba Khamenei, has been selected as the next supreme leader by Iran's Assembly of Experts. And Iran is not taking a back seat. They've been conducting their own assault in the neighboring countries around them. They hit multiple U.S. Bases in that region. And Iran has estimated about 555 to about 800 people killed. And there's some numbers that are suggesting this may be higher. And Israel is saying that at least 11 has been killed in their country since the start of the conflict. And at least 6 members of the United States military have been killed as well, and with additional casualties from drones and missile attacks on the U.S. facilities. It looks like they're not willing to, let go, and it doesn't look like they're going to go back to the negotiation table at any point. So, what do you think?
If I were in the position of Iran, I probably wouldn't go back to that negotiation table because this is the second time. The second time they are being attacked in the middle of negotiation. The first one happened. I think it was June last year. The 12 days of war. They were in the middle of negotiation, right in the middle of negotiation, and they were attacked. And this one too, they were in the middle of negotiation, according to Oman, a foreign minister. I think he's signaling that Iran almost agreed to every single thing they were demanding of them. And then for some reason, because Israel and America already have ulterior motive, they were going to attack them anyway. There was nothing that they would have done to avoid this. They went ahead and attacked them. I think this is, you know, international politics and geopolitics at play. But from all indication, it looks like I'm tempted to think that they just want to destabilize the Middle East. I think that is the plan. As with the exception of Israel, I think I'm not sure if it is US. I'm not sure if it is Iran. I'm not sure if it is the rest of the powerhouse in the world. But I'm sure it's looking like some people are determined to bring like Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait. Somebody is determined to bring them down to make sure that everything that they have labored, that they have spent years putting up, the infrastructures, that they have, spent years putting up, somebody is determined to bring it down because if not, tell me why Iran is focused, on attacking these people. And they are not just attacking them, not that they're attacking the US base, although it's part of it, but they're also attacking civilians, infrastructure, and all of those stuff. So one part of me is believing that this is a ploy to destabilize the Middle East, not just Iran, but almost the whole of the Middle East.
I don't think Iran has much choice at this point. I mean, their country has been decimated with bombs. What do you expect them to do? The people who want them to fight back. I think I saw a commentary on X today by one of the university professors at the University of Tehran in Iran, and he says that this action is one of the many reasons that people in Iran don't agree with any relationship or they don't agree to any policies from the Western countries because they don't keep to their agreement and they can't trust them. So if you can't trust them, you can basically do business and partner with them. And in the Western country, their leaders do not stay past 4 or 8 years. And a new government comes in with different strategies, different ideologies, different plans for countries all over the world. So it's not in their own interest. It's not in Iran's interest to truly support what the Western countries, especially the US and England, whatever they're pushing out there. But it looks like in this case, it doesn't look like England is supporting the US in this assault on Iran. It looks like it's just the combination of Israel and the US waging war on Iranian government because they have been alleged to be terrorist sympathizers. We know one of the things that the US does not support is terrorism. And as we all know, when US goes into a country, they don't go in there for free. In fact, they barely take care of the Americans at home, right? So if they're not taking care of the Americans at home, why do you think they care about the people outside the country, especially the Make America Great Again crowd? They don't care about the international politics. All they want to do is take care of the people in their country. Majority of the people that voted for President Trump they didn't vote for this, even though you see people on X, they'll say they support the president. You don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon because of their religious ideology. You don't want them to attack the U.S. because they don't like a Christian nation. And it's just unfortunate that there's going to be a lot of chatters, a lot of different talking points out there, whether in support of Israel or in support of the US or in support of Iran. And the people that are fighting, they know why they're fighting. Maybe they are not able to disclose the reasons for the people, for the public to know, but they've got a reason they're fighting. The last two US presidents in the US didn't attack Iran, even though that there's been video clips of the president of Israel over the years, at least since the 90s, saying that Iran is about to get a nuclear weapon and they're gonna decimate Israel and their neighbors. There were video clips of him saying that over the years. And now the Trump administration went ahead and attacked Iran. So what do you expect Iran to do? Iran will fight back. They want to protect their lands. They want to protect their people. So I don't really know who is to blame in this scenario.
I don't honestly, if people understand the how dangerous nuclear weapons are, people wouldn't be thinking that Iran will use it one day on somebody. There is no country. Well, I think there has only been one instance where a country used a nuclear weapon on another country, and that was U.S. against Japan, Hiroshima. Apart from that, I don't think in modern day that any country will use a nuclear weapon against any country because even you yourself that use it probably would not survive it. So what is the point? That probably will be the end of humanity. And if anybody survive it, it's just going to be, a very difficult life for anybody that survives it. So I think the reason why countries get it is because of all this behavior from a bigger countries, all this bullying from bigger countries. Look at North Korea. North Korea has been peaceful. They don't disturb nobody. Nobody disturb them. They're on their own, but they are paying the price of having a nuclear weapon. They are essentially isolated from the rest of the world. The government, the North Korean government controls the media. They control what they see. They control the people they interact with. In fact, they control them even to their haircuts. That is the price you pay for having a nuclear weapon. But I think if Iran is determined to have it, they can have it. But the problem is that they really have to pay a very big price. Though they've been paying price because Iran has been isolated from the rest of the world. They've been under sanction for more than 15 years, for a very long time. They've been living under sanction. In fact, tissue paper is better than their currency right now. But if they are determined to have it, they will have to sacrifice more. They will have to suffer more because essentially a lot of countries, will teeth away from them, and then there will be a lot of embargoes. Though they have a lot of embargoes on their oil right now, they cannot sell their oil on the main market. They have to sell it through backdoor with shadow fleet of ships and stuff like that. Transfer from one ship to another, then probably transfer up to 6 ships before they get it out of the country. But if they really want to get it, I think they can get it, but they will just they will probably suffer a lot. And the idea that no other country is helping US to prosecute this war, I don't think that is completely accurate. They don't really have to physically be involved or, help them go offensive. If you are giving your base as a launch pad to this, to US or to Israel, I mean, you are participating and helping out. UK Prime Minister Kestama made the announcement that the US can use their air base in Cyprus as a launch pad. France is also gearing up. In fact, because Spain refused Trump to use a Spain airfield as a launch pad, Trump they basically cut ties with Spain and said they're not going to do any kind of business again with Spain. And it's not even up to 1 hour that he made that statement that Spain did a 360. So a lot of they are getting help from a lot of countries, and then it is a sad day that we're living in. It's unfortunate that UN cannot do anything. UN is as useless as anything. In fact, tissue paper is better than UN right now because UN is a creation of United States. And once United States put funding from UN, there will not be UN left. And there is no single country on this planet that can talk to US to stop what they're doing. Did you hear what Pete Hegseth said, the Secretary of War? That regardless of international law, they are doing what they are doing, and there is nobody that can say anything to them. So they will continue to prosecute it, but how long this will last, and then if they will be able to sustain it, is another thing to consider. And how long can Iran be able to hold up, with this war? And we'll just be here to see.
I definitely agree with your sentiment. I think it's ridiculous what has been allowed to go on over the years. Just like we had that other guest a few weeks back on TikTok Live that said that, once you're big, you're big. You can always do whatever you want. You can bully other countries into submission. And what happens if other countries around the world start to move away from the dollar and they are saying, "Hey, we don't want to use dollar as legal tendencies." Do you think the US will still have leverage over those other countries? Because once the US stops doing business with your country, you're basically going to devalue the currency of your country, and it's basically going to worth nothing. It's not going to worth very much. Coupled with the fact that they can also put sanctions on the country, on who or which country they want to, the countries that have been sanctioned can do business with. Look at Russia. When they started this war, even before they started the war, they had a lot of sanctions on them, and their currency was basically nothing. So, and they've been living their lives, they've been moving on, they've been doing businesses with other countries, with China, with India, and they're surviving. And I'm sure North Korea is finding a way to deal with it as well. I'm sure they are finding a way to work around the sanctions and still do business with other countries. So I think it's just whatever the US wants. If you don't align with the US, you're going to be the one that's going to be at fault.
Yeah, As you know, as it is today, with the crops of world leaders that we have, Macron, Mars of Germany, Stammer, all of these people are scared of Trump, and they know that Trump is he's bullish. One, two, he don't just put out statement. He follow it through. He makes sure that he follow it to the T, and they know what he's capable. In fact, even as a criminal as Putin is also scared of Trump. In fact, even China, that is why you see that China is Putin, they are on the fence with this Iran war, because other than that, both of them are friends to Iran. But maybe they are supplying them equipment, supplying them ammunition, but they are not physically involved. They know what Trump can do. Today, I don't think there is any country that can stand up to Trump. And any country that says they don't want to do business again with dollar, I think that country will immediately go under. In fact, even North Korea that we are talking about that has been under sanction, they still look for a way to circumvent that sanction, like you said. One, two, they still buy dollar. They look for a way to buy US dollar so that they can carry out their transaction, because most transaction on the international stage is done in dollar domination. And in fact, I think there was a report some time ago that even North Korea is able to print a US dollar and use it to carry out their transaction. That is why you see that they do a lot of cyber attacks. They get money from the ransom pay and all of those stuff. So you need to devise a means to get around those sanctions and get the dollar. Like I said, if Iran wants to get a nuclear weapon, and I think that is the only thing that can bring peace to that Middle East, Iran would never use the nuclear weapon on anybody because they know that they themselves will not survive it. Israel has a nuclear weapon. They will never use it on anybody. It's just a way to deter people. Can you imagine today if North Korea doesn't have a nuclear weapon, what would be of North Korea? They probably would have been wiped out of the map. But today, nobody's messing with them. Even Pakistan that is almost a third world. Pakistan has a nuclear weapon. Nobody messes with them. Can you imagine if Pakistan doesn't have a nuclear weapon? The problem that has been going on with them and India would have wiped them off the map. But they can't do it because once you launch it, the other person will probably be able to launch it and everybody will go. In fact, the whole world that will be the end of the world. And in fact, if you use it, before it will affect the rest of the world will come against you. So you can't survive it. So it's not something that you can just pull out because you are fighting with somebody. No, but it's just a way to deter people. You see how Putin has been warning that if US get physically involved with the Ukraine war, they will use their nuclear weapon. And US have stayed off physically, but they are supplying the weapon and ammunition, but they have not been involved. Even what do they call it? NATO has not been involved physically because they know that Putin may follow up with his threat. He may not follow up with his threat, but you don't want to dare him. You don't want to find out. So I think the only thing that will bring peace to that Middle East is allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Israel has its own. Because the idea that Israel want to dominate the Middle East, I don't think the rest of the Gulf states or Gulf countries understand what is at stake. The kind of power that Israel want to build up in that region. If they do, they will probably be backing Iran to fend them off. But before they will realize it will probably be too late. They are too focused on making money right now that they don't realize what is going on. But by the time they will realize it, they will probably be coming back to Iran. If Iran hasn't been conquered by that time, they will probably be running back to Iran to help them fight it, but then it will be too late. So let us know what you think about the happenings in the Middle East, and we'll be happy to engage with you in the comment section.